hearing tonight from women in politics about their thoughts on a possible overturn of Roe versus Wade.
10 News reporter Duke Carter is live in the newsroom. Duke, you spoke with leaders on both sides of the aisle, first on the leak and then also their stance on abortion rights.
Hey, good evening, ladies. Yeah, we checked with a couple of women members from the Virginia House of Delegates, and while their views may differ, both sides do agree that if Roe versus Wade is overturned, well, they can expect some big changes.
The leak, I'm really excited about it.
I was really shocked when I read it. It was, devastating.
Like you, many people have their beliefs on the Roe versus Wade leaked draft opinion. And like many of you, political leaders' ideals also fall on the spectrum. Well, we asked women members of the Virginia House of Delegates from both sides their stance on abortion, whether they are pro-choice or pro-life.
My personal belief, and most of my constituents, is life begins at conception. The women that make those choices, they live with that decision when they have an abortion the rest of their lives. Many times, I have a family member that made that decision, and she's been very depressed about it ever since.
Being pro-choice is not being pro-abortion. I believe that women should have the freedom to do with their bodies what they need to do. I believe that reproductive health and reproductive options should be open to women.
We also challenge political leaders who are pro-life. If women get raped, should they keep the baby?
I'm probably not going to really weigh in on that. There's a lot in the pro-life community. There's lots of different, thoughts about that.
WSLS also challenged leaders who are pro-choice and ask their thoughts from those who say life begins at conception.
You still have the right to believe that, and you should not be able to just push your beliefs on to me. I mean, that in and of itself, if you won't go there, is unchristlike, because he does not push himself on anyone. I have the choice and the freedom, as it stands right now, to believe differently.
Well, it doesn't matter where your beliefs fall. Some feel there will be changes if Roe versus Wade is overturned.
I'm excited that we're going down the road of what our forefathers wanted, which is states' rights.
It's just the beginning of chipping away at personal freedom.
So coming up at 6, we're going to break down the vote if there's any potential legislation surrounding abortion here in the Commonwealth. And reporting in the newsroom, Duke Carter, 10 News, working for you.